Today on NewsWatch, crazy weather across the U.S. from snowstorms to tornadoes. We'll show you some of the hardest hit areas. Plus, the latest details on a deadly church bus accident and what the driver of a truck reportedly said, the truck that crashed with it. And what Vice President and Mrs. Pence are saying about marriage that has started a startling debate over the holy bonds of matrimony. Thanks for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Mark Martin. Spring has definitely sprung, and it's brought some severe weather across the nation. As people in the Northeast dug out from a snowstorm this weekend, some in the South dealt with floods and tornadoes. CBN's Gary Lane reports one twister even destroyed a church in Virginia.
Most Americans wouldn't expect to be doing this during the first weekend of April. It was no April Fool's Day joke, as an early spring storm dumped up to 15 inches of snow on parts of New England Saturday. It came just 2 days before opening day for the Boston Red Sox baseball team.
We had more spring-like weather at the end of February than we do the 1st of April, so that's New England for you.
Severe storms pounded central Texas Sunday morning, uprooting trees and ripping homes apart.
All the windows were breaking and flying in the living room, and my whole roof took off.
In Mississippi, deputies used boats late at night to rescue people from raging floodwaters. In Louisiana, severe weather brought hail and lightning strikes caused sparks to power lines. In Shreveport, lightning ignited this oil tanker. But tornadoes caused the worst damage.
Tornado over there. See it?
And loss of life. Near Baton Rouge, this mobile home was flipped over and ripped apart, killing a woman and her 3-year-old daughter.
She was a very loving woman, the love of my life, my daughter.
In the midst of their loss and grief, family members at the scene talked about what is most important to them.
We're going to be a closer family. Look at your family, look at your kids. Call them wherever they're at. Just tell them I love you, because you never know with these freak storms, you never know.
And in Chesapeake and Virginia Beach, Virginia, no loss of life, but an EF2 tornado caused extensive damage along an 8-mile path, packing winds of 120 miles per hour. It destroyed the real-life Christian church. The building is just 5 miles from CBN headquarters. The tornado also damaged athletic facilities at Lansdowne High School in Virginia Beach, and about 50 homes in the Rock Creek neighborhood. Operation Blessing was on location there, working to put tarps on roofs to protect the homes from wind and rain. Gary Lane, CBN News.
Residents of Mocoa, Colombia frantically searched for loved ones after a powerful flood of water, mud, and debris tore through their city Friday night and early Saturday. The disaster took more than 200 lives, many of them children, and left hundreds more missing and injured. The 3 rivers that surround Mocoa flooded after heavy rains. The torrent destroyed houses, ripped out trees by roots, and swept away cars and trucks. Colombian President Juan Manuel Santos declared the area a disaster zone. An overflow crowd packed the First Baptist Church in New Braunfels, Texas, Sunday as mourners remembered the 13 church members killed in a bus crash last week. Pastor Brad McLean said his church is asking many questions about the tragedy, but the service was the beginning of their search for comfort and healing. There are allegations that the driver of the pickup that hit the bus was texting while driving. This video shows the truck swerving just minutes before the accident. Jody Cookler was following the truck and called 911 because he feared someone would get hurt. He says that the driver of the truck told him he was texting when he hit the bus.
I think my mind kind of went blank. I didn't know what to think. I mean, you just cost 13 people's lives. You're talking about grandmothers, grandfathers.
The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating that allegation of texting while driving. President Donald Trump took to his Virginia golf course with Senator Rand Paul on Sunday to talk health care. The outing came hours after he tweeted that talks about replacing the law will continue until such time as a deal is hopefully struck. Trump added that anyone, especially, quote, the fake media, who thinks the effort is dead, does not know the love and strength in our party. Paul came out against the House GOP legislation, but ended the day on a good note, saying he is optimistic on the replacement of Obamacare. A third Senate Democrat now says he will support the nomination of Neil Gorsuch to the Supreme Court. Senator Joe Donnelly made the announcement on Sunday, saying that Gorsuch is, quote, a qualified jurist who will base his decisions on his understanding of the law. So far, 36 Democrats and 1 independent say they will vote to block the nomination. But Majority Leader Mitch McConnell told CNN's State of the Union that Gorsuch will in fact be confirmed this week. The Senate Judiciary votes on his confirmation today, and the full Senate votes Friday. America's ambassador to the United Nations says there's no love between the U.S. and Russia. Speaking on ABC's This Week, Nikki Haley said she's beating up on Russia and no one's telling her to pull her punches. President Trump is under fire for his positive comments about Russian President Vladimir Putin. Investigators are looking into possible links between Trump's associates and Russia as controversy swirls over Russia's alleged meddling in the campaign. Haley said Trump respects Putin but doesn't trust him. She also said the U.S. is holding Russia accountable for its actions in Syria and Iran. President Donald Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor Jared Kushner is visiting Iraq with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Joseph Dunford. That's according to a senior administration official who wanted to remain anonymous. The official said Kushner wanted to personally assess the situation in Iraq. Kushner's visit comes 2 weeks after the Iraqi prime minister said Trump told him the U.S. will speed up its support for Iraq in the battle against ISIS. An historic meeting this week for Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and President Donald Trump. They're expected to talk military aid, designating the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist group. CBN's Amber Strong has more, including chances the two leaders have restoring a strategic partnership between the two nations.
This week in Washington, President Donald Trump will welcome his next head of state. Fresh off of a visit from the Prime Minister of Denmark, the president will meet with Egyptian President al-Sisi on Monday. A White House official says President Trump wants to use the visit to, quote, reboot a bilateral relationship and build on a strong connection the two presidents established when they first met in New York. Tensions were high between al-Sisi and the Obama administration. Since taking office, al-Sisi has been accused of imprisoning hundreds of thousands of political opponents and protesters. Although President Trump has referred to him as a, quote, fantastic guy, human rights groups disagree.
The atmosphere in Egypt right now, it's unprecedented repression, unprecedented levels of repression. It's not even like the Mubarak times. In Mubarak times, there was a status quo. So this unprecedented level of repression, this continued escalation repression from General Sisi is expected to get worse after this visit as General Sisi, the military and the security forces feel more emboldened and feel more empowered to do as they wish with the White House.
The White House says it chooses to handle sensitive matters like the imprisonment behind closed doors and praised al-Sisi's stance against terrorism in the region. Amber C. Strong for CBN News in Washington.
In other news, California's Attorney General is coming under fire for indicting 2 pro-life activists. It's for recording undercover videos in their efforts to prove that Planned Parenthood is engaged in illegally selling baby body parts. The criticism is coming from an unexpected source, the Los Angeles Times. The Times editorial board criticized AG Xavier Becerra for charging David Daleiden and Susan Merritt with 15 felonies. Becerra claimed the pair violated healthcare privacy laws when they made the videos. Facebook and Mozilla are among the companies and organizations launching a $14 million fund to promote news literacy and increase trust in journalism. The nonprofit, called the News Integrity Initiative, will be an independent project based at the City University of New York. Others contributing to the fund include Craigslist founder Craig Newmark and the Ford Foundation. Recent polls show the public's trust in the news industry at a low. Coming up, one young man stands up for his faith in college and was suspended. What happened next may surprise you. Welcome back. A college student ousted for standing up for his faith against a Muslim professor will be returning to class. CBN's Gary Lane first brought us the story and had a chance to talk with Marshall Polston about this victory on the college campus.
I'm very proud of the university for coming to that decision. I commend them. The one thing that is a little bit disappointing, though, is that this professor is still there. Unfortunately, this lady is not, in my opinion, fit to be teaching students when she's out there punishing students for their religious beliefs, such as mine, or for speaking out against remarks that are either just morally wrong or just not right. So I think at the end of the day, everybody should have their right to freedom of expression, and mine was unfortunately not allowed to happen in that class. But as far as the school goes, very proud they made this decision, and we're very excited about the results of the hearing.
What did they say about it, Marshall, and why do you think they made the decision they made?
Well, there are several reasons. Number one, I think they realized that it's not fitting, according to their code of values, their code of ethics, their integrity as a university, and going back to the values that they were founded on, to treat a student in the way that this professor was treating me. And so they made the right decision because I believe they based it on the school's values. But they should also in the future do due diligence on their professors when they hire them, because this professor has radical ties and radical links. And of course, there's a campaign now to get this professor removed from Rollins, and hopefully other academic institutions, if she's going to continue with this agenda, which is really an agenda of indoctrination.
What did the administration say? Did they say anything, or just say you're reinstated?
Well, they said that I was reinstated, and they gave us a formal letter. On the letter, it goes through the different charges that were brought against me internally. All the charges were dropped, not responsible on every single one of them. It's very fascinating to me, the turn of events this week, and I think a lot of the pressure that was placed on the school by the 10,000 phone calls that were made to Grant Cornwell, the president, really had a big impact. And so, first of all, I just want to say thank you for having me on again. But second, and really importantly, to everybody who has supported me and supported free speech, I can't be more grateful. I mean, it's amazing the amount of support that people have demonstrated in this situation.
Yes, I think your story went viral on social media. So what's going to happen now? Are you still going to be in the class, or have you dropped it?
Well, I'm not going to be in the class, thankfully, because I actually have my own safety concerns about the professor. She's made some comments in the past which are really questionable, and she's already broken the law potentially once, and I don't know what could happen again. That being said, I am going to be transferred out of her class into an independent study. Again, I applaud the school on that, but I don't think that this professor should continue at the university after what has transpired here. My good name, my reputation has all been put out there, and unfortunately my character has been questioned, and some of the most important parts of a person's career and their life is their reputation.
You expect a lawsuit?
Well, we're looking at all of our options. I'm really going to talk over that with my lawyers, and we're going to see where we go with that. But as of right now, we're trying to get through this coming Tuesday. This professor has continued this campaign against me with an injunction. That it's a baseless injunction, and it's temporary right now, but I believe it'll be thrown out of court. Of course, that's up to the judge to make, but I think according to what my lawyer says and what a lot of my advising lawyers tell me, this is something that is really a joke as far as the charges, not literal charges, but as far as what she's bringing against me in this injunction and restraining order. There's nothing serious here. No threats. We've already been over this. In fact, she admitted in one of the police reports that there are no threats. And I think her credibility, again, is shot by the fact that she gave false information to the authorities.
Okay, Marshall Polston, our best wishes are with you. Our prayers are with you as well. Keep us updated, and good luck to you.
Well, thank you so much, Gary, for having me on, and God bless you and all that you do.
Up next, what the vice president said that has the whole nation a Twitter, and what it says about our culture. Recently, Vice President Mike Pence talked about some of the things he and his wife Karen do to protect their marriage. The reaction from New York to L.A. was one of shock for many. Popular blogger and author Matt Walsh spoke with CBN's Ephraim Graham about how the culture shock surprised him and where conservative values stand in America.
Masses of angry Twitter users continue to slam Vice President Mike Pence for the boundaries he and his wife Karen have set up around their marriage. Anyone who defends the vice president is now also coming under fire. Matt Walsh is the author of a new book called Unholy Trinity, Blocking the Left's Assault on Life, Marriage, and Gender. He issued comments agreeing with Mike Pence on his marriage policy, and those tweets have also triggered an angry wave of responses. And he joins us now with more on this. So why do you think the media and the left are reacting so strongly against Mike Pence and the boundaries he and his wife set up?
Yeah, I thought I could no longer be surprised by how ridiculous our culture is, but this one kind of took me by surprise. I think when it comes down to it, you know, any notion that we should have discipline in our relationships, that we should, you know, be self-sacrificial, that we should put up boundaries, I think that to a lot of people is kind of shocking because they've never. You have to keep in mind, a lot of people in our culture have never been in a healthy relationship, and so they don't know what it looks like, and they are exposed to one, and they react and recoil in horror. It's kind of interesting.
Why do you think this was spun so quickly away from being something that would honor marriage and the vows that we commit to?
Well, we have to keep in mind that people don't care much about marriage in this culture. I think that's pretty obvious, and honoring marriage is not a priority. You know, I think arguably if Mike Pence had said that they have an open marriage, you know, they're polyamorous or whatever, I think our culture would actually be more accepting of that. The idea of a monogamous committed relationship is, I think, for a lot of people, it harkens back to patriarchal, you know, gender norms and these sorts of things, and that's why they react the way they do.
Some have said that this represents a disadvantage to women in the workplace. What's your response?
That is totally incoherent, and people who say that should be embarrassed because that makes no sense whatsoever. We're talking about a policy adopted by both people, not just women. So if Mike Pence had said, yeah, my wife can't be around men, but I can do what I want, well, then they'd have a point. But that's not what he said. This is about both people respecting each other.
Now, you wrote an article for The Blaze today that such practices were once understood and respected. What does it say about our culture that we no longer value this?
Well, it says that we're confused and we're lost, and it kind of shows you. I think that it's no secret why we have the divorce rate the way we are, the way it is. My generation, the millennial generation, isn't getting divorced, but they're not getting married to begin with. So this kind of shows you why we have no concept of what goes into a committed and respectful marriage.
Trying to turn a positive here, your book talks about us taking back and defending marriage. How do we go about protecting marriage now?
That's going to start. You know, unfortunately, there's no quick fix. It starts in our own homes. So we can't look at marriage as this abstract concept that we have to intellectually defend. It is that too, but in our individual marriages, we have to be lights to others so that other people can look at us, like they can look at Mike Pence and Karen Pence and see, oh, that's what a marriage is supposed to be. So I think it starts at home, as most things do. Speaking
of starting at home, you and your wife, you are married. How do you guys project that and protect your marriage and promote those values? We've
been married for 5 years. We have 3 kids. That to me, I know that makes us basically rookies as far as marriage goes. Except in our culture, they look at us and they think, you know, we're like marriage prodigies because we've managed to stay married for 5 years. Yeah, but in reality, we're still rookies and we're still figuring it out. But we also have, you know, we've set up boundaries, and it's just about respect. It's not about not trusting the other person. It's about, you don't want to come up to the precipice of being in an uncomfortable or inappropriate situation. You want to give yourself a cushion. And so to avoid those situations altogether, that's what we try to do. Are you still hopeful? Do you think it's too late for us to take back? Yeah, I think we're doomed. So we should go into our bomb shelters. I don't know if I'm optimistic, but I do know that, look, we are here. We were put on this earth for a reason at this time and place. And so we need to be lights in the darkness. And if we can all do that and do that in our families, I think down the road, you know, generations from now, maybe we could reclaim our culture. But it's got to start now. Well, thank you so much. The book is called Unholy Trinity, Blocking the Left's Assault on Life, Marriage, and Gender. Matt Walsh, thank you for your time. Thanks a lot. God bless you.
TV celebrity Mr. T says he is planning to knock out his Dancing with the Stars competition the same way he beat cancer with God on his side. He is competing in the 24th season of ABC's hit show, and the iconic movie Tough Guy told Fox News that it is his faith in God that keeps him going. He said he prays every day. He and his pro partner plan to dance their way to the top and donate the prize money to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and Shriners Hospitals for Children. Mr. T said he wants to inspire children who are battling serious health issues. Good for him, and we wish him the best. Well, that's it for now on CBN NewsWatch. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. Also, tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here. You can do that by emailing us at newswatch@cbn.com or simply talk to us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day.